Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Oblong Polka Dots and my name is Kerr, and on this channel we talk about makeup, skincare, and beauty. So if that's something you're into, you've come to the right place. If you hear a lot of noise in the background, it's because I have a family. That's how it goes. Today, I'm actually going to use two new products. One, well not new, but two I haven't used yet. One is the Alter Ego palette and it is called Shadow Kiss. And I believe this is supposed to be a dupe for one of the Natasha Denona palettes. Probably the, what's that one called? I think the Biba palette. And that's what that looks like. We're just going to do a cool tone, neutral look today. The other new product that I have not used yet, that I did buy a while ago, but I'm just going to try it today, is this Fashion Fair foundation stick. And I picked mine up in the shade Fine Chestnut. I don't typically use foundation sticks, but I thought I would give this a try, and I bought this a while ago. So as always, let's start off by priming. We're going to use the Fenty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer for our face. And if you followed my channel for a while, you know that initially I did not much care for this primer, but now I can't get enough. I definitely ordered another one with that Sephora spring sale. So we're just going to go ahead, prime the face. My face was already clean and treated, so we're ready to go. Okay. All right, and then that's the primer. That's how it looks. I don't know what that is. Something's pilling up. I don't know what I put on my skin that's pilling up. It's okay though. We'll be all right. All right, so for my eyes, I'm going to use the Essence Prime Like a Boss eyeshadow base. I love this stuff so much, you guys. It is fantastic. This little primer packs a punch. It totally punches above its weight. And it's like, I think less than $3 or $4. So I have several of these in my backup box because I use this, I think, probably every day. And when you first put it on, don't freak out because it is oily, but it will calm down and become tacky, and it keeps your eyeshadow from creasing, and it won't budge for the day. It's going to stay. It's not going anywhere. And then next we have, let's see, why don't we start with the eyes? So for this Shadow Kiss palette, when I do my shadow, I normally go in a gradient. So I'll go from lightest on the interior to darkest on the exterior. So let's just pick 3 colors. We'll pick one matte for the interior, exterior, and then one satin or shimmer to go on the top. I think today we're going to go ahead and try this one for the interior, which is called Vanish. Oh, this palette does come with a mirror. I don't know if I mentioned that, but we're going to start here with Vanish for all over the lid. And then for the outer corner, let's go with this one right here called Umbra. So we've got Vanish and Umbra, and then for the lid, let's go with, how about Zeal? We'll try Zeal. That's this one right here. So we're going to do Vanish, Umbra, and Zeal. I'm going to start off with a flat brush. This one's from Wet n Wild, I believe. Yep. Just a plain flat brush, and we're going to start with Vanish all over the lid. So dipping my brush into the pan already, I can see that there is a little bit of fallout, but that's fine. It's nothing that's earth-shattering, or to be unexpected, I should say. And we're just patting this all over the lid. Can you see that? It's a nice matte, sort of a cocoa brown color on my lid. So that mixes in well. And then we're going to do the other lid. It's this shade, I wouldn't necessarily call it cool toned, but I would call it a neutral because I'm not really seeing warmth to it, but I'm also not seeing like a very cool tone. So yeah, this is more of a neutral. And it's packing on beautifully. The shadow is smooth, it's comfortable. I don't know if I would necessarily compare it to the Natasha Denona shadows, but it does go on easily. It is a dry formula. I don't really feel any moisture in this powder, so if you have dried lids, it's something to keep in mind. And then we're going to go ahead and take the same brush, but this time we're going to go into Umbra for our outer corner. We're just going to pop that on at an angle, give it a nice deep outer color. This one is a little bit patchier than the Vanish, but it still is going on nicely. And we're just packing that on, and we'll do the same for the other side. Here we go. It's a nice deep brown. This is a cool tone for sure. And it has sort of a, it's chocolatey, but it also kind of has a little bit of hint of gray in it, and I think that's what makes it cool. But it is nice, so that's what it looks like so far. And then let's go ahead and set our brush down for a minute. Let's grab the, just a little, actually, I need a fluffier brush than this. Hold on. This one will work. Actually, let's go with, do I have one over here? I wanted something a little fluffier. Yeah, like this one. Let's go ahead and take our fluffy brush, and we're just going to blend out the edge. So the way that I'm blending is I'm not going in an up-down motion. I'm going in a back and forth motion because I'm trying to keep that angle for the eye. So I'm trying to pull that color out. And we're just going to soften the edge a little bit. So then you're going to end up with sort of a trapezoid, that kind of effect. And then same thing for this side. There we go. Makes it a little bit softer. Okay, so let's go back with that same brush that we've been using. We are going to use this brush, but first on the side with the shades that we've already dirtied it with, not dirtied, but used it with. We're not using the clean side, we're still using this side. We're going to take this glitter primer from NYX, and we're going to throw a little bit on that side, and we're just going to pat it onto the lid so that when we put Zeal onto the lid, it really pops. And for this primer, it's my favorite glitter primer, and you really don't need very much. Just a little bit goes a long way. So all we're doing is patting it onto the spots where we really want that Zeal to pop. And this primer is sticky, so even while you're patting it down, you're going to feel it start to set on your lid. And it, believe me, it holds on to whatever you put on top of it. It's very tacky. Okay, so that's good. Now we're going to go ahead and hop into Zeal. We're taking the same brush, but we're going to flip it over this time. And we're just going to put some product on there and start patting it on. See how it looks. Wow, that's pretty. It's definitely gold. It's almost, it's a yellow gold, but it feels or looks like it has some kind of silver or white reflect in it. So keep that in mind for when you're planning out your looks. Very pretty. I do like it. Let's throw some more on this side. Nice. Okay. Look at that. It's dramatic, but I like it. It's nice to have something a little dramatic on the lid. And all I'm doing today is running errands, so I don't really feel like I need to tone it down. I can go crazy, get nuts. I'm going to take the same brush. Actually, I'm going to take a different brush. I think we've used that one to death. And I'm going to take a smaller, fluffier brush. And I'm going back into that original color, Vanish. And I'm just going up into my crease. And I'm just going to warm it up a little bit. Just a little. That way we don't have as much of a stark contrast between the warmth of my brown skin and then these more dramatic colors that I have on my lid. We have something that can kind of like act as a buffer. So it's not looking too crazy. Not crazy, but just I'm not necessarily going for like a super vampy look. although that may be what I ended up with. So we're just bringing that up a little bit, just to warm it up a little. There we go. What do you think? Pretty simple, pretty basic, plenty of impact. I do like this palette though. This Alter Ego's formula overall, I really seem to enjoy, no matter what shadows they're putting in there. I think that their mattes and satins pretty much have their same formula. I'm not really seeing like the formula change between palettes. Just trying to show you guys as best I can what this looks like. It's totally washed out on camera, but just know that these colors are pretty saturated. So it's a nice cool tone neutral palette. I'm going to use this one for sure. All right, let's finish up our face, shall we? So I'm going to begin, as I always do, with my concealer. This one is from Lancome. It's the Teint Isolde Ultra Wear All Over Concealer. This one is in the shade 470, which is my like winter fall color. But I think I'm going to have to start transitioning here in a minute because it's starting to get warm here and I'm outside a little bit more in the sunshine. Yay! In Seattle, we tend to have two seasons. We have gray and light gray. So if you ever come to visit, you can visit during the light gray. It's really beautiful. Okay, so while we're letting that concealer sit there for a second, let's bust out this stick right here. I think I told you guys the shade at the beginning, but just to remind you, it is in Fine Chestnut. I have not used this yet. I had, when I was in store, I can't remember what season I bought this, so let's see what this looks like. There we go. It's red for sure, and it's definitely deeper than my skin tone, so let's not put too much. Let's just see how it works. I don't know, you guys. Might be a little bit too dark, but we'll figure it out. Can always fiddle around with some powder. The formula feels good though. It does glide on nicely and it feels very light. I don't feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like it's heavy at all. Oh, and it's blending nicely too. Okay. I'm thinking that this is the kind of formula that you have to put on maybe with a brush, but it is blending out with the sponge. So, and as always, that Lancome concealer works well with everything. Like every formula of anything I've used on my face, whether it be a foundation that's, you know, lightweight to medium to buildable coverage to tinted moisturizers. This is like the absolute best concealer. It just works with everything beautifully. Okay, so far, I do like the way that the stick feels. It's light. It feels almost like a powder on the skin. It doesn't feel like, you know how, have you guys ever used like the Black Opal stick foundation where it feels kind of oily and a little bit heavy? That this does not feel like that at all. It's very, very light. It feels like a cream to powder, really. There we go. I think it's a good shade match, but I think it's more warm than I'm used to. So in the summer, it's going to be a perfect match. But since I am still in spring, it's not quite the match I'm looking for. So we'll have to try and adjust this a little bit with some powder, which I think we can do. But overall, it has a really nice feel to it. I would give it a medium coverage, like a solid medium. I definitely wouldn't call it full. I think if you apply a lot more, you can probably get that effect, but I typically don't like to apply too much foundation. And so I'm always kind of going for like something that's closer to the skin, where it's not necessarily covering up my, you know, freckles or my flaws or anything like that, but it's just making my skin look a little more even. So that's typically what I'm looking for. in terms of coverage. So yeah. All right, what do you guys think? I think it's really red, but I also think that it's really pretty and it'll work well for the summer. Let's go with a powder. And actually, I was going to use this Tower 28 blush, but I think I'm going to stick with the one that I've been like stuck on, which is the Morena Beauté Sweet Brown. This is an Afro-Swedish brand. And only because I think this is going to go a little bit better with the look. It's not going to warm it up too much, so let's just put a little of that. Actually, maybe today is a no blush day. I'm all over the map, you guys. Let me just set this with the powder real quick and see what I think first, and then we'll come back to it. So the powder I'm using is the one I keep lamenting about in all of my videos because they don't make it anymore. And as you can see, I only have a little bit left. So once it's gone, it's gone. This is the Becca Hydra Mist Set and Refresh powder. I love this powder so much. I think it's beautiful. It does not dry my skin out. So I'm really kind of trying to figure out, in terms of the powders in my collection, if there's one that is going to be comparable or can do something similar to what this powder does, because yeah, it's going to be a sad day when this runs out. I think in even putting on this powder, you guys, it's helping to calm that red down a little bit. Just a little. There we go. And lately I have been taking a little puff and setting underneath my eyes with the powder, but I don't know if I want to do that today. I kind of like that skin-like look rather than that complete, like, finished, snatched, baked, that kind of look. Sometimes I'm okay with just looking imperfect. I think that's fine too, because, you know, human being. So we're not going to do that today. I know, I'm just rambling. You guys are champs if you're sitting here listening to me. I really appreciate you, because sometimes I just be running my mouth. Yeah, let's go with that blush. Pop some of that on. This is absolutely my favorite blush right now. I am so hooked on it. I'm just stuck. I don't know what else to say. I think it's beautiful, and it goes so well with like pretty much every single makeup look I could possibly think to wear right now. Yeah, that's what that is. And it builds beautifully. It really does. And I like to bring my blush just up underneath my eye. I think it gives me a more kind of ethereal look. Can you see that? Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm goofy today. Let's see. Why don't we throw on a little bit of liner? This one is from Urban Decay. It's called Demolition. It's like one of my favorite browns. NYX makes one that I really like too, but this is the one I just keep reaching for. And I typically do not line my lower lash line because I feel like it makes me, like it ages me when I do that. But I do like to line my waterline on top because I feel like it makes my lashes look a lot thicker. And I like a nice thick lash. There we go. Can you see the difference? A little bit more right here. Just trying to fill in any sparse areas like that. And then we have, my brows are tattooed. So what I do is I take this pencil from MAC that I really love. It's in the shade Spiked. I typically don't fill in my brows. I will every once in a while, and when I do, it's with this pencil, but I just take the spoolie that's on the end of it and just kind of brush up my brows a little so they don't look so unruly. Then for my face, I'm going to take the Kryolan Ultra Setting Spray. I love this stuff. I have several bottles of it, plus the can with the atomizer. And we're going to use this to set our makeup. If you have any, oops. if you have any kind of sensitivity to alcohol, then this is definitely not the setting spray for you. It is strong, like really strong, but it also sets your makeup for the day. Like it's going nowhere. It's stuck on your face. It's on there. So that's something to think about too. Let's finish up with some mascara from Essence. This is the I Love Extreme Crazy Volume Mascara. I really love this formula, and I think that Essence makes fantastic mascaras. The Lash Princess is absolutely my favorite, but this stuff has really stolen my heart. The only thing I don't much care for is the spoolie. First of all, it's humongous. So if you have smaller eyes, this might be a challenge to work with. And then secondly, I just typically gravitate towards spoolies that are brushes rather than this kind of hard plastic type of spoolie. That being said, I love this enough that I just bought 3 more. So there you go. Sometimes you just have to work through it. Sometimes you got to take the shit with the sugar. So I love this formula enough that I will just make the spoolie work. And really, to be fair, mostly it's just operator error. I'm more prone to poking myself in the eye with a plastic spoolie because apparently the gravitation of my eye is much stronger when a plastic spoolie is nearby. Here we go. But can you see how that like really just piles on the product? I mean, look at that. You can see why I like it, right? This formula is extraordinary. And then when I'm doing my lower lashes, that's when we kind of get into the whole, but does she have skills? But is she good at this? Because if I'm going to poke my eye out, which I've done, then it's going to happen right now. Trying to be careful, trying to go slow, trying to take my time. And, every time I say this, I'm like, oh, look, I'm going to do it. And then every time I pretty much poke my eye out. But today we are lucky. There will be no eye poking. I think that for my bottom lash line, I'm going to grab just a little flat brush real quick. And I've been doing this a lot more where I'm just going back underneath because I don't use, oh my gosh, I can't think. I don't use liner on my bottom line, but I do like the way that kind of like halo effect looks, or that kind of, ethereal sort of look. So we're going to grab a little bit of that umbra and we're just going to go here into the corner and just tie in that lower lash line with that upper lash line. See what I'm saying? And we're going to do the same thing on this side. You really don't need much. It's just a little tap of the brush, but it just kind of pulls everything together. So we know that the upper and lower lash, they do know each other. They go out to lunch sometimes. They don't work in the same building, but they hang out sometimes. We just want to have that pull together. And then same thing for underneath. I'm actually going to go in with that Zeal and just have Zeal join the lunch crew. Pull a little bit of that in there, just so that we're matching that upper and the lower together, so we know that they are indeed friends. There we go. I think that's good. All right, what do you guys think? Do you like this look? What do you think of the foundation? I do think it's too red right now, but it feels good on the skin. It feels very light. It feels powdery, does not feel heavy at all, plays well with others. Yeah, I'm actually really glad that I bought this foundation. Where did I put it? In the 2 seconds that we've been talking, you guys have set it down somewhere over here. Yeah, I would definitely give this a try. The Fashion Fair, for sure. Stick foundation, works really nicely. Feels good on the skin. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.